Hello everyone and welcome to Bevins Builds, and today's video is going to be about how to lay self-adhesive tiles, or as I like to call them, lick and stick. Now the first thing I want to point out is you don't lick the tiles. So please do not lick the tiles. I just call them lick and stick because they're self-adhesive. You just pull the film off the back of them and you can slap them on the floor. But the first thing that you want to get started doing before you ever start tiling, I already had my ceiling and my walls and all that are all completed. So there's nothing else that's going to be dropping onto the floor. And then you're going to want to go around, as you saw at the beginning of the video, I had a really heavy duty scraper that I used. And what I do is I go around the entire floor and scrape it as much as possible. And then I vacuum it, and then I scrape it, and I vacuum it, and I scrape it, and I vacuum it. Because I don't care how many times you do it, you're always going to need to do it a little more, as concrete can be very difficult to get clean. And when you think it's clean, it's probably going to need at least one more scraping and cleaning. Something else I do want to point out before you start doing all the scraping and vacuuming and scraping and vacuuming, as you can see all the cut lines throughout my concrete, I have went and sealed with a concrete caulk. This is the caulk that I used. Again, it's a concrete caulk. It's made by DAP because you want to get all your gaps filled in, because as you go to put the tiles on over there, you want to have a nice smooth surface, and you want to be able to scrape off any extras that are sticking out and up and over. Now, after you're done with all that scraping and vacuuming, you're going to proceed to start doing a whole bunch of mopping. Now, I don't mean like a heavy duty mop, as you can see in the video here. I just like get the mop lightly wet, and then I just run it over the floor, and I will actually proceed and do that several times as well until I feel it's thoroughly clean again. And then I will probably go back over it and vacuum it one more time and then mop it one more time as well. And once you think you have it thoroughly cleaned and everything looks fantastic, clean it again. I hate to keep repeating that, but like I said, it is something I've found over the years that I don't care how much or how clean you think you have it when you go to start laying the tiles down, and then when the tile job's done, you'll notice one or two tiles has a little divot or a speck of something sticking up, I should say, underneath the tile. And if you're like me, it'll probably irritate you when you're done, but that's why I say clean it and clean it and clean it and clean it as much as possible. Now, once you have cleaned, and cleaned again, and mind you, I haven't laid any of these tiles down yet, what you're supposed to do is find the absolute center of the room. Calling it the absolute center of the room, but what it is, it's the absolute center of the space you're going to be tiling. Anyway, here is my center. And what I did, I made a mark here, and then I have marks along the way as well. But the reason for doing that, and the reason I've kind of just quickly laid out some tiles, the reason that you want to do that and start from the center of the room and then start tiling out everywhere is because you want all your perimeter tiles to be the same distance, because it looks more professional. So what would end up happening if I started at the center and start tiling everywhere is all of my front row tiles here will have 3.5 inches cut off that front edge. And as you can see here, I have a 3.5 inch overlap on the back tile. So all the tiles that'll go along this wall will be cut with a 3.5 inch cut off of it. And then over along that wall there, I'll be cutting 6 inches off of it. Because again, I'm doing it starting from the center. I'll have a 6-inch tile that goes there, and then I'll have a 6-inch tile that goes way over there. And what I mean by having a 6-inch tile that goes there and behind me is it'll be a 6-inch tile that runs all the way along that wall, and it'll be a 6-inch tile that runs all the way down along that wall. And like I said, that is a very professional and nice looking way to do it. But I'm telling you, now the reason I'm telling you the right way to do it is that's not how I'm doing it. I am physically going to tile along this wall or that line first, and then I'm going to work my way back. I am still starting at the center right here. Then I'm going to work my way over that way and start kind of filling this in. And the reason that I'm doing that is I want to have all solid tiles all the way along until I get to this point. So physically, once I get to this point, like I said, I was going to have to cut 3.5 inches off that tile. Now what I'm going to have to do is cut 7 inches off this last tile. And the reason that I'm doing that is along this wall here This is the only reason I'm doing it. I plan on having cabinets and all that there anyway. It's going to save me some cuts as far as for the installation, because again, if I start from the center, I'm going to have to cut everything on every wall. By doing it the way that I'm going to do it, this will all be solid tiles all the way up to this point, and then the only tiles I'm going to have to cut for this wall are over here and then those two sides, instead of having to cut all four corners. And again, the reason I'm doing that is you're never going to see it anyway, but I'm just explaining to you why I'm doing it that way. And even though I'm not doing it that way, once again, like I said, I just want to tell you the right way, or at least the way that I was taught the right way to do it is. But again, like I said, I'm trying to save myself some cuts, and I'm not going to see that back wall anyway because it's going to be covered with cabinets. And I'd rather have all solid tiles up in the front space and then have partial tiles along the wall where you're not going to see them anyway. Now, just to try and speed things along, I thought I would just start taking pictures here to show you the progress as I go. You can still see that I did keep a line down the center of the room to keep my tiles straight. And I'm showing you the back of this tile here so you know that you have to keep them all the same direction, and there's an arrow on the back that lets you know that direction. And now that I'm at this point in the game, I'm going to be starting to cut some of the the tiles that go along the wall there. Now, the thing to keep in mind, number one, before you cut it, again, I just showed you here in a second ago in a picture. When you look at the back of these tiles, mind you, this one isn't peeled yet, but when you peel it up, you'll see an arrow. And I'm trying to make it more visible. You want to make sure that you keep that arrow the same direction as you do everything else. And what I'm doing is all my arrows are that way. So the point in me bringing that up is I know the arrow is that way. So let's flip the tile over. Now I'm going to make my measurement over there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a square and I'm going to put it on there like so. And then I'm going to cut it. Now, wherever that cut is, it should be roughly 6 inches, so I would just slide that over to 6 inches, which I'm gonna go make my measurement first, and then I'll cut that piece. Now, the other half of this piece I'm gonna save, because, and the reason I'm saying that is you wanna keep your factory edges lined up. So my cut edge is what's gonna be against the wall. My factory edge is gonna go against the tile right there, and then I'm gonna save this piece, because these tiles are actually 18 inches in width. And I have 6.5 inches that I'm cutting off. So I have a total of 12 inches I'm going to cut off. So I'm going to have a couple inches of scrap here in the center. But the reason I'm saying you're going to save these tiles is for every one of this side of the tile you're going to cut and put there, you're going to use this other half of the tile and you're going to cut it down to put over on that far wall over there. Now, something else to point out is tiles are just like drywall. What you do is you score the surface. Then once you get it scored, you just pop it like so, and then you peel it off. Now here we have a few more pictures of me in progress doing the tile floor anyway. And now we have, and here we have it, the finished product, a complete tiled floor. As you can see in this image, I have a lot of touches of blue and gray in the particular tile. And I also have a little bit of black in that, so that way it kind of contrasts, or it agrees with the ceiling anyway. But the reason I did that, it was intentional, is because the carpet tile that I'm going to be using for the rest of the building, as you can see over here, the rest of the building's all going to be carpet tiled, is going to have gray, black, and touches of blue in it as well. And anyway, that is all for tiling the floors. I hope you guys learned a little something or enjoyed this video anyway, either way, and have the confidence now to tackle your own lick and stick tile floor. But anyway, as always, if you get a chance, check out the links in the description and the comments section of this video below, as I will have links in the description and comments for some of the tools I use to do this particular project. And as always, thank you for coming to Bevins Builds. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below, and we'll see you next time on Bevins Builds.